It was the deep-sea explorer Jacques Cousteau who once said, "Sometimes we are lucky enough to know our lives have been changed, to discard the old and embrace the new." Foundation's community partnership has successfully navigated the transition from a traditional behavioral health institution to a grant-making foundation focused on the emotional health and practical needs of our Bucks County communities. Foundations has embraced the new and is navigating different yet rewarding waters by providing help for neighbors and friends who need it the most and often receive it the least. Foundation's Community Partnership's new mission means new hope for members of the Bucks County community who are living on the edge, needing only a chance, a break, someone to care about them to make a big difference in their lives. Especially in today's troubled economic times, Foundations is a lifeline.
There are very few people who will see that there's a need out there in the community and then find a way to fulfill it. You know, within this county, there is never enough services to people. Lots of people don't have health insurance. Those people who do have limited health insurance when it comes to drug and alcohol needs or mental health needs. Especially when it comes to children, because that's, we can intervene and change somebody's life if we can intervene before they're 18. They vet this process and let the people look into the people that are involved with the different agencies, talk to their board of directors, they look at their financials, so when you're making a donation to the partnership that it's going to go to a truly deserving and well-run agency. So this is one of those things we often need when you're trying to decide who to make a donation. You can trust the Foundation's Community Partnership to make that decision for you.
We just finished our first full year of running as a foundation, and in that year we've provided, I think, 29 or 28 grants to different nonprofit agencies here in Bucks County who work with special needs children and youth. We've awarded 18 scholarships this year to high school seniors and 2 students at Bucks County Community College. We've held 6 professional education workshops for members of the community. We've continued to support behavioral health education and research, and we've subsidized student interns where we place Bucks County kids returning from college for the summer with nonprofit agencies for a 10-week service learning experience. So Foundation's Community Partnership is proud and thrilled to be continuing the legacy that we started as Delaware Valley Mental Health Foundation, then as Foundation's Behavioral Health the Hospital since 1964 in our community.
In its new role, Foundation's Community Partnership has become a real community partner, helping to continue essential educational and therapy programs that help the people most in need.
The grant award that we're receiving today will serve to benefit children in our early intervention program, specifically those children that are diagnosed on the autism spectrum.
Foundation's Community Partnership has awarded NOVA a grant to provide cyber safety and cyberbullying programs to over 1,200 students in Bucks County schools. These programs will encourage safe and responsible use of the internet, as well as decrease the risk of cyberbullying through awareness and education.
This grant is going to enable us to purchase new books for our children, as well as equipment to put together a creative book experience. And so for our preschoolers, it's going to encourage them and help them develop skills for school readiness. And for our students that are already in school, it's going to improve their reading skills so that they can do better in school.
Our camp is different than most camps because it's one counselor for every child, so that every child feels that they have somebody with them all the time to play, to work, to run around, to do whatever they need to do. So getting $3,000 from Foundation's Community Partnership at this time of year is like a lightning bolt for us to get us off and running.
What the grant will be used for at the Community Conservatory is to go towards our Prelude project, which is a program that provides arts therapy for children and adults with disabilities and special needs. It provides an opportunity for people to participate in the arts that often are excluded from opportunities like this.
The good that Foundations accomplishes takes hard work from a dedicated group of community leaders providing direction and encouragement through their volunteer commitment to the organization.
The most important thing that the Foundation does is they reach out to the communities, the small communities and the people that support families within the Bucks County area, helping other nonprofits in their ability to fund their causes and their programs to reach out to these children and help them better their lives.
Foundation's community partnership is also committed to ensuring that educators and behavioral health professionals have access to the latest research and education in diagnostic, treatment, and therapeutic practice so that children and their families receive leading-edge care and support as they deal with difficult mental health issues. Foundations funds a series of professional education workshops.
Forming partnerships with other organizations who care about children and youth, working with other outstanding agencies that are trying really hard to help people who are less fortunate, and bringing the best resources we can to make sure that professionals in the community have up-to-date, state-of-the-art information so they can provide the best services possible for teens and adolescents who have emotional and mental health problems.
But at the center of Foundation's mission and its deepest interest is the well-being of young people in our community. At Special Equestrians in Warrington, young people with special needs and disabilities take horseback riding lessons. It's a unique experience of independence and interdependence which a good and gentle animal can provide. In Bristol, Foundation's interns work closely with professionals in arts and culture outreach programs at the Bristol Presbyterian Church that give at-risk youth opportunities for theatrical, musical, and artistic expression. The Neighborhood Notes program, run by the Community Conservatory, combines arts projects and exposure to music to involve young children in new cultural pursuits. Besides working to improve the quality of behavioral health care in the county, Foundations also strives to address economic needs and promote self-sufficiency. Wheels to Work, operated by the Bucks County Housing Group, provides donated cars to economically disadvantaged families. Independent transportation can be essential to the climb from public assistance to financial independence. But changes in funding almost put the program in the garage for good.
Welfare changed their rules in October, and I was kind of stuck. I had no budget and nowhere to go. I submitted a request and some inquiries and a request to Foundation's Community Partnership for an emergency grant. That grant made all the difference. We would have had no program funding at all without that grant. I had a client on the waiting list who had no social services. She wasn't on welfare. She was a family in need. She was on our waiting list since July. And she would kind of religiously check in with me every 2 weeks. Rosemary, is there any news, any change? And this was right before the holidays. And she called me up about an hour after Ron had called me and we had gotten the grant. She said, "How are you?" And I said, "Oh, I'm fantastic. I'm great." I mean, to the point of almost embarrassingly gushing. And she said, "Oh, good. Well, any news about a car?" I said, "Yeah, we got a grant. You're going to get a car." And of course, she started crying. I started crying. and she basically said that made her holiday. Without that car, she had nothing. She had nothing for her kids. She had nothing. But this was going to change her life. So we got that car. We got it fixed when we got the grant. And she drove away very happily on to her next life. Now she can get a better job. She can go on the interviews. She's on the way to her road to success was with that car.
One of the really wonderful things that I've been privileged to be part of, both at Foundations, the hospital, and now at Foundations, the philanthropic organization, is all the young people's lives we've been able to touch not only the kids who we try and help directly through our giving and through our treatment and therapy programs, but also the people who have come to us in internship situations and people who have come to us to get their careers started. And you think about all the people who got their feet wet working at the foundation, who began their career in the mental health field. And you just sort of scratch your head and say, wow, all those people are going to be moving on and being devoted to this, hopefully for their professional careers. And that makes us feel really good about what we've accomplished.
Well, I think one thing that we've accomplished, and it's a carryover from the hospital days, was the student internship program, where we cover the costs for students working with different nonprofits in the community. And we've seen the results of that over the years, where these students have gone out and gotten more involved after they've graduated in different organizations that provide for the needs of special needs children.
With Habitat, I get the exposure to the nonprofit world, how it works both on the business side and on the way it operates on a day-to-day basis. And then when I come back to Foundations, I get to integrate that with the academic side, and I talk with my fellow interns about their experiences along with my experiences and how we can share some similarities and differences.
Violence been part of my life since I can ever remember, and I think it's just cool to spread it around with less privileged families because it's affected my life so much. So it's fun to show other kids what I've done with my life and just share the music and art with them.
Foundation's community partnerships support of the community goes beyond the economic and emotional health needs of Bucks County special needs children, youth, and families. Recognizing the importance of opportunities for cultural enrichment, Foundation supports programs that bring the arts, music, and literary treasures of the area, like the Michener Museum in Doylestown, to the widest possible audience.
The Michener Art Museum is now the second most visited art museum in the Philadelphia region. About 135,000 people visit this institution on an annual basis, and support from organizations like Foundation Community Partners is a key part of how we open our doors, allow those school kids to come in and serve the community with cultural activities that help and uphold the heritage of Bucks County. There are two recent grants from Foundations. One of them is a capital grant that's going to help us build a new facility. We're going to have some new galleries, a new education wing, and it's important that we have the facilities that allow us to host these exhibitions. But of equal importance are the grants that we have gotten from Foundation, which allows us to reach underserved populations. You know, museums are important in America, but they're not as accessible to everyone across the community. So additional support that enables us to reach troubled families, single parents, and others in the community who might not as easily get to the museum is an essential part of what a grant from Community Foundation will do for us.
Foundation's community partnership is well launched into its new mission, supporting worthy organizations that provide crucial programs in behavioral health, education, culture, and economic independence for thousands of our neighbors at a time when they need it the most. Foundations is also seeding the future community of caregivers, therapists, and mental health leaders through its support for professional education and its internship program to encourage young people to explore and engage in careers of service. One thing is certain, Foundation's impact in the community goes beyond dollars. It means smiles for children. It means a helping hand for those struggling with mental health challenges. It means strong arms to lift up those in economic need. And even while dealing with critical life issues, Foundations also makes it a priority to enable families from all walks of life to be touched by music, art, and theater. Combining all of these missions in a single organization is always challenging. Foundation's community partnership has made a commitment to do all these things. The time, effort, and financial support it provides for them are truly the best measures of our dedication and our purpose.
In a very short time, Foundation's community partnership has done a lot towards trying to find out what needs are out there in the community and to become very organized in the way they meet those needs.
I think the most important thing I noticed was that they were talking about all different generations, and they went through all corners of the county. It wasn't just limited to the lower end or just children. It was also reaching out even to people with disabilities. So that's pretty important to recognize that there are a variety of difficulties and challenges people face.
Everywhere that Foundations has gone, we've seen people helping children. A wide variety of children. Children with physical disabilities, children with emotional disabilities, children at special education camps. We've seen professionals getting into the trenches on their knees with kids in terms of rubbing elbows with them and getting paint on their face, digging trenches up at Habitat for Humanity, and working with horses and cleaning out the stables down at Special Equestrians, seeing the look on faces when we've been able to help support people that go into motels, who work with children who unfortunately have been displaced from their homes, whether it's the Red Cross Homeless Shelter or other locations across our community, and seeing people bringing groceries and gifts for the holidays. There's a lot of smiles that go around when the board of directors makes, a lot of the decisions we make to invest in the community. So every day when we're out there meeting with people and working with people, whether it's the people at Wheels to Work and we see somebody getting a car who wasn't able to get to work so they can support their children, and we know what that means to them, we feel very good about those things.